Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're just giving everyone a chance to join the room. Thanks for taking some time today to join the Seeds of Peace Directors Forum. We have these forums every once in a while to engage with our seeds from around the world, to hear from experts, and also a chance for me to update all of our stakeholders, our youth, our supporters, our staff and friends around the world about what Seeds of Peace has been up to over the recent weeks and months. So we'll give everybody just a couple more seconds to get in. Looks like we have a pretty full house today, which is really exciting to see. We have some of our members of staff here. Emily, who sent you the reminder message, is my right hand and leads our foundations and community relationships. Renee, who's here, is our director of regional programs and supervises our teams around the world. And we have Raghu from the development team here as well. Some seeds, some youth from around the world. It's good to see Ryan from Maine. I see some seeds from Pakistan on the call. Awesome to see you all here. Nina, I see one of our Global Leadership Council members. Hi, Nina, how are you? Some people, I don't know who you are, a lot of other good supporters, old friends, and new Khadija, good to see you. So many folks who are part of Seeds of Peace's global community. One of the things I most love about these directors forums is it's a chance for us all to be together, no matter how we're involved in the life of this amazing community that Seeds of Peace. We all come together virtually once in a while, usually once every quarter, sometimes more often than that, to connect and hear updates and ask questions. If you have questions, please put them in the chat to Renee. She'll pop them over to me, and we'll have some time at the end to talk those through. Again, excited to be here, excited to be together as we finish the 29th year of Seeds of Peace and just about to begin the 30th year, which is such an exciting, important milestone. Seeds of Peace was founded in March of 1993 at a very famous dinner party in Washington, D.C., where John Wallach, our founder, orchestrated for the Israeli, Palestinian, and Egyptian ambassadors all to be together at the home of this very distinguished Washington, D.C. Family. And he put them on the spot on that moment and said, I want to do a camp for young people from areas of conflict. Will you promise to send us your best next generation leaders to camp in Maine so that they can light the way to a better future? Of course, they had to say yes because they were on the spot at the dinner party. And John, being a journalist, took out an ad the next day in the Washington Post, or put a story in the Washington Post saying, wow, so amazing that these ambassadors all agreed to be part of this exciting new effort for peace so that none of them could back out. And the rest was history. 30 years on, we have 8,000 amazing seeds all around the world, working across all sectors of society to create a more just and peaceful world. It's exciting, the opportunities that we're having this year to come back together face to face and to revive the thing that Seeds of Peace is most known for, which is our camp in Maine, the chance for young leaders from conflict areas all around the world to be with one another, to make connections across lines of conflict, to see, as John used to say, that their enemy has a face, and to form partnerships, the partnerships that we need in order to tackle the huge issues of the world. Before we look ahead to 2023, I want to look a little bit back at 2022, at some of the amazing things that we were able to accomplish. Despite all of the constraints of the pandemic at a time when many organizations were kind of going slow, Seeds of Peace was not going slow. We were busy, innovating, pivoting, piloting, and reviving our programs all around the world. During the course of 2022, we brought 300 new seeds into the Seeds of Peace community through our camp in Maine for U.S. youth, as well as through our regional leadership programs in all of the countries where we work around the world. In Israel, Palestine, Egypt, Jordan, India, Pakistan, the US, and the UK. The Seeds of Peace journey now begins at home as young people connect with other youth from their own country, learn foundational skills in dialogue, and address the deep divides in their own societies. Divides around race, religion, socioeconomic status, all the political ideals and divisions that we face in our communities. And Seeds of Peace begins as youth grapple with those and find their voice and their power to make change. So 300 new seeds joining Seeds of Peace over the course of 2022, but many, many more programs around the world, school workshops, trainings for university professors, student clubs that reached more than 1,500 program participants through many different formats around the world. And when you hear those numbers, the 300 new seeds, the 1,500 program participants, the 8,000 alumni, I want you to imagine sort of a ripple effect of peace and hope and transformation around the world. In a study we did of our alumni back in 2017, we found that each alumni influences at least 1,500 people in their communities over the course of their lifespan, and that at least 20% of our seeds influence over 5,000 people through their personal and professional work. And if you do a little bit of quick math, that gets to over 15 million people touched directly by seeds around the world. A ripple of hope, a force multiplier that is positioning this community to be a powerful force for change, to change the direct trajectory of the toughest conflicts around the world, to bring healing and hope, and to bring the voice of youth to the decision-making table where youth belong, having something to say, having perspectives, points of view about the big decisions that matter in their life. In addition to the growth in numbers of our community, we also grew our leadership. We added 3 new members to our board of directors that representing the different regions where we work with great new skills and diverse perspectives that have helped Seeds of Peace to strengthen our team. We've added some new organizational capabilities, a dialogue manual that codifies our methodology that's going to help us as we grow, as well as workshops for educators in the schools where we work, laying the foundation for Seeds of Peace's ambitious growth plan to grow 10 times larger over the next 5 years and really influence the communities where we work in deeper and more expansive ways. In addition to being a year of growth, Seeds of Peace in 2022, it was a year of connecting, of coming back together after so much time apart, mostly due to the pandemic over the last 2 years. There were beautiful moments of connection, of people seeing each other face to face, sometimes for the first time, sometimes for the first time in years. The first international program we did since the pandemic was our Gather Summit in Morocco, where adult change makers from over 15 countries came together for a weekend of sharing and learning. Gather is our network of adult leaders who are working for change across all sectors of society, social innovators, diplomats, business leaders, educators, artists. And it was this big family reunion. It was really my first experience since joining Seeds of Peace to see the power of this international network in person, in real life. At camp in Maine this summer, we brought together young people from all across the United States, including new cities where we've never worked before in the Midwest and the South, places like Detroit and Houston. And listening to young leaders share their stories and ask questions about young people who growing up from different places, different backgrounds, different points of view. It was really a beautiful moment of connection and what Seeds of Peace is all about. At the foundation, Seeds of Peace believes that the first step to creating change is to step outside of your comfort zone, to cross those barriers that divide us, to move beyond our bubbles and our echo chambers, and to listen to stories that might be challenging and different, but also to share our own story and know that our own voice matters in making change. Halfway around the world in Jerusalem, our Kids for Peace chapter had a singing summer camp, a connection in partnership with the Jerusalem Youth Choir, founded by Seed Micha Hendler. And for a week in Jerusalem, young Israelis and Palestinians came together to make music, engage in dialogue, share their stories, and in the midst of a very difficult time in the Middle East, to be a beacon of hope that there are young Israelis, young Palestinians who seek partnership, who seek to treat the other with dignity and humanity and respect, and who want to live in a city of equality that's shared across different religions and cultures and nations. We also brought together Israelis and Palestinians from the whole of the region at our first joint Israeli-Palestinian youth program in many, many years in Cyprus. And we had 40 Israeli and Palestinian teens, along with Jordanians and Cypriots, who came together for a week of what is sort of the best of Seeds of Peace camp, facilitated dialogues, group challenges, team building, tours, travels, the chance for young people, again, to meet face to face and bring the best of the Seeds of Peace experience to a new location. So it was a year of growth, a year of connecting, and also a year of innovation. But we didn't let the limits of the pandemic stop us from figuring out new ways of developing leaders who are ready to build a more just and peaceful world. In India and Pakistan, we brought together young filmmakers, people who were creating stories that highlighted the cultural similarities and connections between Indians and Pakistanis. These young filmmakers worked together virtually for a whole year to plan, write, create, film, edit movies without ever having met face to face. It was a beautiful moment of what's possible through technological connections. They created a suite of short films that were shown at festivals at the US embassies in Mumbai and in Karachi, the places that had funded this program, and now are being shown at film festivals all around the world. Finally, last year in Dubai, the filmmakers were able to come together for a week of celebration and dialogue to reflect on their success and the power of their art form of film to reach millions and millions of people around the world with this message of connection and hope. We also brought a new program to Washington, D.C., sort of both new and old. In the early days of Seeds of Peace, Seeds would bus all the campers from Maine down to Washington, D.C. For 4 or 5 days of meeting with political leaders, policymakers, think tanks, members of Congress. We don't do that anymore, but this year we brought 50 of our best and brightest seeds from all around the world to come to Washington and share their stories with the decision makers, the people who are, again, making the decisions that influence their life. We wanted these folks to hear from our young alumni themselves. They visited APCO worldwide, the Atlantic Council, U.S. Institute of Peace, the Daniel Abraham Center for Middle East Peace. They were on Capitol Hill meeting with members of Congress, not just their staffs, but the members themselves. They met with Ambassador Tai, the U.S. Trade Representative, a cabinet level official who took a couple of hours of her day to sit and talk about young leaders and what their voice matters in the world. They dove into cryptocurrency and refugee issues and all of these global issues where they got to understand them in a deeper way and understand how to work for change through the systems of power, through policy and advocacy. It was a really intense and beautiful experience. One of the Israeli seeds who was there said, at camp you used to always tell us that our voice matters, but now we know our voice really does matter. And they got to see it and feel it in real life. And we wanted to share a glimpse of that experience with you through this video about the Global Institute from Washington, D.C.
Young people's voices matter. Young people's ideas matter. Young people are inheriting the world that we are building, and they are going to be here a lot longer than most of the people they talk to when they are here in DC.
Each one of us has a different story to share and a different point of view.
Global Institute is intended to be an intensive advocacy and policy program.
On the micro level, it's getting passionate people in front of the right people.
The mission of Global Institute is to provide a space to learn how to navigate a system where they can impact change.
Honestly, just meeting other people is really meaningful because actually hearing perspectives straight from other people who are very similar to me is really exciting.
Washington, D.C. is the heart of politics. It's where politics are made.
As a city, it is fast, and there's this sense of power in the air with so many change makers, so many policy makers.
Global Institute is a great opportunity to know people.
There might be someone who doesn't know what your issue is, but might have the resources and access to lend it to you.
I've talked to so many amazing people here that they do have their head in the right space, and these are the people that I'm going to make change with.
One of the things about this program is it relies on all of those skills that you already have and provides a place where you figure out how to use all of those things that you already have and make your toolbox bigger.
You need to come in with some preparation, but you also need to come in with an open mind. You also need to learn these systems because some of the best change has been made from people who understand them.
It's 2 weeks that are super intense. You will never, ever begin to imagine what you're going to be able to accomplish and move forward in the world.
It isn't very common for youth, Palestinian like me, to go and talk to these people and have a one-on-one with them. So I would say this was a very significant and a once-in-a-lifetime experience to me.
You want to be outside the system and you want to scream and advocate and change, but then you might want to step into the system, understand how it works, and then step out again and then talk about it. And I feel like Global Institute helped me step in.
I mean, if I could say one thing to these legislators that our participants were meeting with, these are the people you need to be listening to.
Wow, these are the people indeed. Every time I watch that video, it gives me goosebumps. I've seen it so many times, but still knowing the stories and the lives of all of those young leaders who were there and the impact that they had on Seeds of Peace's message and mission is huge. One of my good friends was the host for us at Boston Consulting Group, and he and I have talked since about just how enriching it was for the principals and the partners there to spend some time with Seeds, and vice versa, for Seeds to understand how do you tackle really big problems and break down these seemingly huge issues into something where you can really make a difference. So in addition to the Global Institute and the Films Project, we had another innovative program coming out of our South Asia community called the Dialogue Academy, where our team has taken the foundational dialogue skills of Seeds of Peace and put them on an EdTech platform so that young people on their own or through their school classrooms can learn about dialogue and how to listen and how to speak, how to share, how to ask good questions, to reframe ideas and understand your own shifting perspectives. This Dialogue Academy has already reached, I believe, over 1,000 young people across the region and is on track to reach tens of thousands more in the coming years as we create these hybrid learning environments, online, self-paced, online facilitated, and in person, and take Seeds of Peace's message really to the masses. So looking ahead to 2023, it is our 30th anniversary year, and all that we're planning is really rooted in our mission to help young leaders imagine and build a more just and peaceful world. And those verbs, imagine and build, are the ones we've been really living with over the last several months as we think about the future, knowing that a different world is not possible unless you can dream it, unless you believe that it can happen. And so much of Seeds of Peace's foundational programs at camp and through our core leadership programs in the regions is helping young people see that a better world is possible. The Seeds, a number of decades ago in the early days, created this peace charter. And one of the great lines in it is they said, we refuse to accept the world as it is because we know how the world could be. And that powerful sense of that I know something different is possible and I'm committed to work and create it. It is really at the heart of Seeds of Peace. So imagining a different world and then building a different world with the skills and the platforms, the resources and the connections to make those ideas a reality. So we'll be doing a lot of things this year to capture the impact of Seeds of Peace's community around the world, alumni reunions in the different countries where we work, working on a cool new online platform where all the members of this huge community can upload a picture or a video or a quote and sort of form a virtual mosaic of peace of the thousands and thousands of people who are part of of this community, to share your voice and your story and to be able to see those connections and the ripple effect of Seeds of Peace around the world. And we're also bringing back, as I said at the very beginning, our international camp in Maine. For the first time in several years, young leaders from the Middle East and South Asia will join our U.S. youth at camp. We are very, very excited to be operating also at full strength again this year, a total of 300 new seeds across 2 sessions of camp, with all of the magic of that place. The chance to engage in facilitated dialogue every day, to live together with one another in bunks, to share meals and conversations with people that our young seeds have been taught to hate and fear for their whole lives. One of the stats that comes through our research is we find that 96% of our program participants have never had a positive interaction with someone from the other side of the conflict until Seeds of Peace. 96%, huge division, huge separation, only hearing stereotypes and stories and through the social media or parents or family. And here, the turning point is the chance to meet face to face, to listen, to learn, to grow, to forge relationships that transform our lives. We've been opening applications for camp staff just yesterday, and I've been reading them as they've come in, and there's probably a half a dozen from Seeds, and we asked them, why do you want to be on camp staff? And almost every one starts with, Seeds of Peace changed my life. And they go on to say how this pivotal experience just shifted the way that they think about the world, the way they engage with people around them, the choices they make in their everyday life, their professional careers. And so the power of this experience, the power of this moment is hard to underestimate. It's a huge impact on individuals' lives and the communities that they go on to reach. Camper applications are now open at seedsofpeace.org/beaseed. Staff applications are now open at seedsofpeace.org/campjobs. We'll put those in the chat so that you have the links. If you are in 9th through 11th grade in any of the countries where we work, or if you know people who are 28 years of age or older who would want to be part of the staff team, please spread the word and send folks our way. We are so excited about the returning staff who are coming back from last year, some of our amazing American camp counselors and facilitators, and excited for them to join with our full-time staff and seasonal staff from around the world to put on this experience for our next generation of global seeds. For those of you who have not been at Camp in Maine and may not know what I'm talking about at all, we have a great video to share that we made last summer about our US camp programs. We will be running one session of camp this year focused on the deep divides in the United States, and that's what this video is really all about. But just imagine that same story, that same set of methods happening with young leaders from areas of conflict all around the world, and you'll catch a glimpse of the fullness of the Seeds of Peace experience. So let's take a look at the video of camp. So young people come to Seeds of Peace Camp from all across the United States. And a lot of why they're here is to meet people who are different from them, who have different perspectives, points of view, who live different lives, but who share a hope that they can make the world a better place.
Dialogue for me has been a place where I can get vulnerable and also in the process learn about other people and they can get vulnerable. And it's a shared community where you share experiences and find the bigger picture in which way we all connect.
Yeah, today here at Dialogue, they're talking about all the things that matter in their life. Of course, they're talking about race, they're talking about religion, they're talking about political divides, about the countries and the nationalities and the cultures that they come from. They're talking about gender, and they're talking about issues around the world, the environment, police violence, the struggle for equality. They're talking about the issues that they face every day in their schools, like the desire for mental health supports and the chance to be able to study in a safe and secure place where young people, no matter where they live, no matter what their zip code, all have the resources that they need to learn and grow and thrive.
It's so lovely just being able to learn from other people who I might not be able to see on the normal street and just being able to have a conversation with them and learn more about where they come from versus where I do and finding our similarities and differences in the world.
Honestly, I really like community action because you can figure out all different types of things, how to help, and honestly, I feel like we really need that in Chicago.
Yeah, community action helped us bring up stuff about our school and what we would need to fix, like technology, mental, and ways we can reach out to people in other schools.
What would you tell other youth about Seeds of Peace and why they should come here?
Like, I remember when I came back last year, I came back home and I was like, wow, like I feel so different and I don't know how, but I just know I'm different. I know I'm grown. I know I'm like a better person.
I think Seeds makes you that sense of more aware of what it means to have humanity spread across the world and want to advocate for it, want to call folks in to come together and fight for it.
Wow, there's again nothing more powerful than hearing from Seeds themselves and our amazing team who helped put on that experience. I want to open up for some questions and reflections here and now, and invite you again, if you haven't asked a question, to send Renee a chat. But before we do that, Ryan, if I can put you on the spot, we didn't plan this. One of our new main Seeds, would you be willing to share a little bit about what Seeds of Peace means to you and what your experience has been?
Absolutely. Seeds of Peace was just an absolutely wonderful experience. And even though it was just the main session because of coronavirus, I was able to connect with people from all around the state and hear all these different experiences. And just spending every single day with them really inspired me to make change in my community, using my power in the positions that I'm in. And so it was a really inspiring experience for me. And it was really incredible to connect with all these kids.
Across the state, so Ryan is one of the 2 student representatives on the Maine State Board of Education, and so has a big responsibility of bringing those voices into decision-making that definitely affect their everyday life. And Maine is a reminder for all of us. It's where our camp is, sort of the one of the many hearts of Seeds of Peace, that even in a small state like Maine, there's such diverse experiences and perspectives and points of view in urban communities and rural communities, new Mainers and folks whose families have been there for generations, that all of those divides are right around the corner, not only all the way around the world. Nina, I know you had a question. Nina Lahoud, one of our Global Leadership Council members and a longtime UN professional. Nina, feel free to jump in. I think there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Wow, you get the award for succinct overview of just the many ways, peace has expanded or refocused, and that's really inspiring, coupled with the videos. As you said, nothing's more moving than hearing it from them, and I've been fortunate to see the magic of the camp, I think 3 times now, and wow, it's a flavor of that. My question or my observation is I was taken by the Global Institute coverage, and given my background and my immersion continuing in the UN and the stalemate, particularly among the Security Council, which has been very, very poignant for now the past 2 years, and this is now being acknowledged very openly. It seems that beyond the legislators and partners you have the kids meet with in Washington, they have an influence on US legislation, etc., but there's a whole world of lawmakers that have an impact on these questions. Palestine is heard on the council 4 times a year. It's mandated, it's a permanent item on the agenda. Kashmir is not, but they're seized with these issues. So I know that during the spring gala, the ambassadors and UN people we had there were very moved by it. But I'm just thinking out loud. It seems that maybe there's even a further, I mean, I know you're already got so much on your plate, but a further opening for how can we get the valuable feelings and motivation emanating from the Seeds themselves into the confines of the UN, which represents a global community, both in the General Assembly, where all member states are represented, and in the Security Council, where you have 15 members, 10 of whom rotate on a 2-year basis, because they're the ones also passing resolutions and who have an enormous impact. And the UN entities, of course, are operating on a socioeconomic plane in all of the countries that you deal with. So that was my long-winded positive observation and just thinking out loud query.
Yeah, an invitation. And I think one of the things I was just yesterday talking with some of our board members about where do we want Seeds of Peace to show up this year. And we had we're finding, as we always do, that there are seeds everywhere. So there were seeds at COP talking about the environment and environmental policy. And there were some seeds at the UN General Assembly last year, but we're like, wait a minute, what if we get a little bit better organized and put together some events and programs that we can co-sponsor with other entities and bring a larger critical mass of our community into these conversations. So Nina, stand by. That's fresh off the presses after yesterday that we really want to prioritize this, especially for our 30th anniversary year. That was really one of John's visions, is that seeds should be at the table everywhere we turn, that their voices make such a big difference.
Well, that sounds good. I just want to mention that the UN does embrace, and I've been involved in it, bringing students from various universities and all, and they get to meet with a lot of UN leaders. That's apart from the government representatives. So I think it wouldn't be it would make sense. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'll stand by, as you said, and happy to help in any way.
Yes, awesome. And thank you again for the connection you made to the Peace Office at the UN. I've been in touch with them since the gala, and we're getting connected to the Youth Peace and Security Initiative and some of the other cool things that are happening there. So many possibilities. I think that that's the story of Seeds of Peace as we turn to the 30th year, is bringing back some of the things that were part of our life many years ago, building on the strengths that we have, and also seeing these new opportunities around every corner. Our strength is our people like all of you who support Seeds of Peace, who are ready to join Seeds of Peace. Shout out to Samid from Pakistan, who posted in the chat, I'll be one of the next seeds, and that he has many ideas to change the world. Samid, you are the future, and you are why we exist here at Seeds of Peace, to create opportunities for you to realize those dreams and to find your power in making change. Perry asked about training for other nonprofits in the youth space. We are tiptoeing into that world, I would say. We have a lot of amazing leaders and facilitators, some of whom do trainings professionally that we could certainly make some introductions. We've also been piloting a number of trainings for school educators who have been asking for us, how do we take these practices of dialogue and help classroom teachers be better equipped to deal with the deep divisions in their own communities. If you have ideas or want to ask for help on this or anything, feel free to email josh@seedsofpeace.org. Emily or Renee will put that in the chat, so you have my email. That kind of comes to the three of us, and we'll figure out who's the right person to follow up on each request. But we're really excited about that and excited about helping to take Seeds of Peace's mission to the next level, to codify and scale our leadership development programs, one of our main strategic priorities, to mobilize our people, not only to mobilize our people towards social change, which we've been doing through our Gather initiative, through hubs and social impact fellowships, but also to take the expertise and the wisdom of our community and help send it out to the world. And third, to root our programs in the places where we work. We've been doing that a lot over the last 3 years, helping to strengthen our regional presence, really embrace Seeds of Peace as an international organization, to make sure that the voices of our regional staff and our regional leaders are represented in all of the organizational decision-making, to diversify our board to include people with expertise in all of the places where we work. And we're in the process now of building an alumni across the world who can be part of Seeds of Peace's community going forward. Ali Hamza is also going to be the next leader and remove differences between people. We need so many leaders working in every place where we work. We often talk about being a leader-full movement, full of leaders working together side by side. And that, I think, is the unique message, the unique value proposition of Seeds of Peace, not just that we're working for change as individuals, but that we're working for change together, and together with people who, besides Seeds of Peace, we probably never would have met, right? The deep divides in our world are so strong that keep us separated, keep us apart. And whatever the issue is, whatever the topic is, it's so big and is so needful of our best wisdom and expertise working together across lines of difference, together with the perspectives of how does something like climate or police violence or poverty affect communities differently in every place around the world. And in order to make good decisions, we have to have all of those voices together at the table. And that together is what makes Seeds of Peace unique and special and important. I see Pius, one of our board members, seed parent, Gather fellow, many other good things, member of the City Council in Portland, Maine, originally from Ghana. Pius, do you have anything you would want to add about Seeds of Peace in this moment? Questions or observations? You've got to see it all firsthand. You were in Morocco for the summit, came up to camp this year.
Well, thank you. I think you've said it all, but it's a good and great place to build the next leaders, both here in Maine, across the US and the world. So if any of you know any young person that you believe will bring something to the camp and also will learn to build their leadership skills, please do that and support us in any way you can. Thank you, George, for your leadership.
Thanks, Pius, for being part of the team and your counsel and wisdom on this journey. If there's any other, we got everybody's chiming in that you're going to change the world, and I believe it, that there is this power at Seeds of Peace. It's quite frankly the best part of my job, and is what I was so excited to be able to do this last summer, is to spend most of the summer at camp with my family, getting to know Seeds up close and firsthand. I was in Cyprus for our program there and got to meet our new Israeli and Palestinian Seeds. I see our Indian and Pakistani Seeds online all the time. They're so active in our programs. It usually requires me to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning or sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning to be with you. So thank you all for being here at a late at night where you are. The people are the best, and they give me hope, and they give all of us hope that a different world is possible. And at this time of year, we're always saying thank you to the people who have supported Seeds of Peace in so many ways, financially, through connections, through being part of the staff and the volunteer community. If you have not made a gift yet to Seeds of Peace, consider this an opportunity to stand on the side of hope, to support the young leaders, like many of whom that you see here on the call today. It's a tough world out there. Polarization is on the rise, divisions around every corner, conflict within and across countries. And Seeds of Peace is offering a way forward, a way out, a way to bridge the divides, to heal the deep wounds, and to chart a path forward, a place, like Danielle was saying at camp, a place where our humanity can thrive, a place where partnerships are valued, where differences are respected, where we all can live with equality and dignity in a world that we share. So thank you all for taking the time to join the conversation today. Again, if you have ideas or other questions, just send us an email to josh@seedsofpeace.org. Spread the word about the opportunities for camp staff, opportunities to give and support. We have big dreams at Seeds of Peace and need everyone's help to make them a reality, to invest in the human and financial resources to support the amazing energy and power of our community of leaders around the world. Thanks especially to the young people who joined today. You are the heart of Seeds of Peace, and it's a privilege and honor to work with you in this mission. Thanks everybody, and have a good rest of your day.